herzlich zu unserem ersten Update in diesem Jahr begrüßen. Hier ein Update wurde initiiert, dass wir dem Publikum einen Einblick geben in das, was hier tagtäglich passiert, aber vielleicht nicht ganz so sichtbar ist wie das, was in den Museen ausgestellt ist. Das heißt, die Arbeit im Bereich Forschung, Entwicklung, künstlerische Produktion, was vor allem in den Instituten des ZKM vorsichtig nahe damit und heute verschiedene ihrer Arbeiten vorstellen will. Produktionsstipendiat am Institut für Bildmedien. Dieses Produktionsstipendium wurde vergeben im Rahmen des letztjährigen Medienpreises für Wissenschaft und Kunst. Das Thema war Weltbilder. Das heißt, also von neuen Visualisierungsstrategien, von Hirnforschung, Kunst und Wissenschaft und die sich überschneidenden Bereiche und wie das sich gegenseitig befruchtet und sich das widerspiegelt in der Wissenschaft und in der Kunst. Aber dazu wird Ihnen die Details nachher mehr sagen. Und sie wird die Arbeit Bitcosm, ein Internetprojekt, vorstellen, das von einer großen Vielzahl von Künstlern zusammen erarbeitet bzw. bestückt wurde. Und mit dieser Arbeit eröffnet sich ein ganz besonderer Bildkosmos. Aber das wird sie im Detail darlegen. Im Moment arbeitet sie nachher an einer Arbeit, die nennt sich MindPJ. Setzt also diese Auseinandersetzung mit Hirnforschung im weitesten Sinne fort. Und in dieser Arbeit werden elektrische Vorgänge im Gehirn sozusagen angezeigt. Das heißt, Hirnströme werden benutzt, um Bilder zu manipulieren oder die Vorgänge in künstlerischen Bildern im Gehirn, beziehungsweise die Vorgänge in Bildern außerhalb dessen, in künstlerischen Bildern sichtbar zu machen. Das dazu wird die Mara im Detail noch mehr sagen. Ja, vielleicht noch ganz kurz zu dem Hintergrund. Geboren 1972 in Brasilien, hat soziale Kommunikation studiert in Porto Alegre sowie auch neue Medien in New York und ist seit 1994 Mitglied einer Künstlergruppe, ZKM, die sich hauptsächlich mit Internet und auseinandersetzt, der Internetprojekte. Und aktuell neben ihrer künstlerischen Arbeit unterrichtet Lara auch eine digitale Kommunikation an einer Universität in Porto Alegre. Aber ich möchte jetzt auch gar nicht mehr dazu sagen, sondern einfach Lara das Wort übergeben.
Okay. So I will speak in English. I don't understand, unfortunately, German. I don't know what Petra said about me, but I hope it was very good.
I said it would talk about it.
Yes, okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit in the beginning about the Greek cousin, and we're going to see the video. And this video is made with images from an internet project. So, and this is a project that has been going on for many years, and it's still going on. We're going to, sometimes I talk about this project, and during like maybe half an hour of the lecture, there is new images already being created as we talk. So I don't know right now if people are doing things or not. There's always like a luck. But first we're going to see 5 minutes of the video. And then I'm going to show you the website and talk about how those images were made and all the projects by this group of artists that have been going on. So please, the video. You can turn my light off.
Listening to cheap static eccentricity. The fragrance of onions was what she called it, sarcastically as she quietly dropped the hammer and sobbed that her hamburger was bleeding ketchup and poppy seed juice. Her Majesty tuned in, listening to cheap static eccentricity, gluttonously devouring boiled lobster and fried shrimp. The Photoshop queen licked her greasy fingers clean and called it quits for the day. Rikers Island was a place I'll never forget while gracefully grazing and dreamily dozing, and I'll throw the clothes in, and I'll haunt and flaunt in the shadows of a man I'll never know. Name that game. It was Acme. She told me it was the loop. I said, Oompa, Oompa. But she continued with the loop. You're a looper. And everything seems to be up in the air at this point. I need something to change your gears. Rudimentary fears. Problems with the porno site is not blending. Allison, my eye is on you, dear. End of line, 396. We'd forgotten to hang out the do not disturb signs, so she wandered into the room and startled my attorney, who was kneeling stark naked in the closet, vomiting into his shoes. Exotic, isn't it? He blurted. She said, are you joking? It's Ball's Fammy. Uh-huh. So you're going to the red light district, huh? Anyone I know? Said Super Sam. All I know is that she has red hair. But I'll be there. It's a conflict of egos. Only the strongest survives. Not two, but one. Not you, but me. Which is why the chosen one never anticipated a digital shaman with a penchant for rage and destabilization of the consciousness of the many.
Waiting for the sequel pizza connection. Dada. Dude, perm. That isn't it funny. How you used to be in the nut house. And now I'm a cashew, warm and tasty, wrapped a dollar bill toss out to the starving Tootsie by a Tootsie impersonator, gleeful to get work as a dairy queen or a Star Wars alien. Hot crust, buns, butter, God, and country. Nothing you could do could make me untrue to my guy. The 5 in the morning painting ad wasp. Id cheese. 1, 2 people. What's so coagulate about that? Your great. Let's celebrate. Super fresh. Brown. Stop. Slap. Stop. Slanger. Stinger. Stuck in a stinger. Full of blubber. Stop. Quiz. Ohio. Drink. Double fatty.
So that was like an excerpt from the video. The whole video is 18 minutes. And the reason why is it called GridCosm 10000 is because, you're going to see in a little while, GridCosm is made by levels, different levels. And this video has from level 1000 to level 0. So those are 8,000 original images. They were produced by over 100 artists over the course of 5 years. That will be the whole 18 minutes, 5 minutes. You can make the math. And I'm going to show now the site. And it really works best because the site is quite complex and has different sections. If I like it when people ask me what they want to know about. I can just talk about different things, but if you want, please just ask. Anytime, interrupt me. It's totally fine. I'll be very happy to, respond to a specific question. So, okay, cito.org. So that's the main page. And when you get in, there's some links to the new things that have been created. And basically, the whole site, the group, is wholly online on the internet. It was created a long time ago, before the web. It was an FTP site and things like that. And one of the first places for artists to exchange images and put their images online. So one part is the archive. And the archive is just like a place you put your images and add things about it, like having a little homepage and a space. But then there are the synergy projects, and those are the collaborative projects. And in those projects, there is like a collective authorship. So there isn't like a single person who signs and is responsible for the image. And the whole goal is not to have that. You can find out who created, maybe little parts, but the whole goal is to create images that look like one image, but in fact they are many different images put together by different people to look like one. So here we have the new stuff that had been added. So today 7 artists added 27 pieces. This week 8 artists added 63, and this is the total. So here we have we can click here, and that will bring us to this grid cosm level. So here would be the page. And this is an example of a level where you can kind of see the grid nature of it. Like the center one is this maze part is very different from the other ones, and they kind of blend a little bit. Some of them blend better than the others. And this was the last completed level. Here on the left, we can see who contributed to this specific level. It corresponds to all the pieces, and this is, we're going to talk about later, also the grid poem is when you add a piece, you also add a text, part of a text. And if we click here on the outside, or just here where it says current level, okay, so then we're going to find a level that is not finished, and that's the top level, because it's always built from the inside out. So if you look closely, here in the middle, the centerpiece is the one that we just saw on the previous level. So when they complete a level, it's all like scripts that run on the server, so you don't need a person to take care of it or anything like that. It shrinks and it goes to the middle, and then it opens all the places around it. In this case, 3 of them were already taken. And if I want, I can reserve this. So here I will have to log in. Okay. So now it's reserved by me, and I have 2 hours to make the image and send it. So this is also a nice thing, that you have very little time. You don't have a week or 2 months. You have 2 hours. And that makes it really fast-paced, and also because you only have so many spaces. For example, now that I reserved this one, these 2 are not available anymore. Why? Because the whole point is to make it blend to your surroundings. So if someone makes this one before I finish mine, how are they going to make it blend with mine, right? No way. So then it makes them unavailable until I finish. So now there's only 2 spots left. So imagine if I take 2 months, this will take years to grow. So after I reserved, I can upload. If I was really fast and made an image in 10 seconds. So here I just choose my file, and there's some technical things. All the images are 150 by 150 pixels, JPEG or GIF. Do not use lossless JPEG format. And give it some textiness. That's the text. So it will become part of the poem. Like the poem is also made of little pieces that are joined together. I didn't make a piece, and I don't want to make a piece. I'm going to cancel my reservation. Because the last time I was giving a talk just like this, I had the idea I could make a piece maybe in I don't know, some minutes. I played with that idea, but I didn't. And I ended up letting it reserve for maybe 15 minutes. And then all these things showed up in the discussion board about like, oh, Lenara reserved a piece. What is she going to make? Oh, it's been so long since she made a piece. So just because for 15 minutes I reserved it. So now I do this and then I cancel right away. So I don't create any discussion about it. I want to be, I don't know, anonymous. So right now nobody reserved. That's boring because sometimes, like I said in the lecture, someone has already reserved and, you know, we just refresh and there's new stuff showing up. So I guess Wednesday is not a very popular day. But we can learn a little bit about the artists that create these pieces. For example, S and Y, who created the first piece of the level. This is the order, like 1, 2, 3. So this was created first, and then the second, and then the third. He just happens to be one of the most active artists on this project. So here it shows like his statistics for GridCosm. And here it shows like, you know, the positions that he likes most, and he doesn't spend more than 30 hours without making a piece. So he told me that he tries to do one every day. So he's pretty much keeping up with his plan. And this is along the years, how much did he contributed. So yeah, some years like 2000, I don't know, he was not doing things for a while, but then 2005 has been a good year. And here the time of the day. They don't have the day of the week. I was going to look for Wednesdays. But apparently the time is, I think this is Eastern Pacific time. I don't know what time it is. 6 Greenwich minus 6. So yeah, so some hours ahead of us. It's probably the time where the server is located. And the server that contains Ceto is located in Omaha, Nebraska, in the United States. And that's just because, well, they donated the connection and the space. Actually, I think the old server in the beginning was donated by Silicon Graphics. And the new one was actually found on the trash and remodeled, I mean, with some, maybe a little bit extra memory or something. And that's the computer where Ceto is located, because it's basically a volunteer project, and I think they have a non-profit status, but maybe not all the way, so you can get grants and things like that. So basically it's like a volunteer. One of the ideas is to make our own DVD with a GridCosm and like a documentary and things like that for fundraising, and there's like different projects like that. But it's really active, and it's like really lots of people that are using this site right now. Let me click on Synergy. Okay. So Synergy, like I said, is the collaborative projects. So we have GridCosm, which is the most active project. There is also HiGrid, that is very old, it's going on since 1995. And it's not so easy to navigate as GridCosm, but it also has this idea of grid. So it's kind of like a common idea. There are two ideas that are used a lot in this project. One is the idea of the grid, so it's kind of distributing images into space, and the other are of generations of images, kind of distributing them into time. So in the generation projects, you make an image, and then someone else takes that image and does something with it, makes like a child image or whatever, grandchildren, or just a sibling image, or maybe they're not related, they're just friends, I don't know. And then there is like a structure to the project, so it can be, people can easily kind of understand the rules of the game. a lot of people call this a game, like I'm playing a game. Like when I'm doing a piece for GridCosm, I'm playing a game that I like. Because it has this ludic, playful nature, I guess. So there are always rules. And then those rules are programmed, so you don't have to worry about, having someone to coordinate, having like a master or like, I don't know, a director, I don't know, a boss. There are two main guys that are the two main programmers of Cito. Those are John and Ed. And there's like little plays also in the video. Maybe at some point you saw like someone's big face of someone. That was Ed. And if you run enough, like further to the middle, you can see my face in the body of a donkey. So I forgot who made the donkey or whatever. If there was a comment or not about me, if the person knew or just thought it would be nice to put the donkey body. And this is also something that is quite interesting about the GridCosm, because let me go back. See if we can find some.
One question. Was this film you showed at the beginning made with this technology, zoom out of an image constantly? Also, the GridCosm works like you zoom.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it.
Done by filmmakers or some video artists, were done by people on this website. Actually. This constant flow was done by the user.
So yeah, I guess the idea just was developed from the whole grid thing. Like there's another project that I participated that was called the Infinite Grid. So in this, it was like the grid was fixed, but for each image you could make alternative images that also blended with the others. So it's kind of a combinatory game. So you can flip the images and you have one by one or many by many. But so you have like kind of a depth on each image. And this one has a depth on itself. And there's this thing that if you think about it, all the GridCosm is there. Because if you zoom, you keep going on, you're going to see more and more. So what happened is, it gets shrunk and shrunk to maybe less than a pixel, less than a subpixel, and to some microscopic quantity, but it's still there. If you had enough magnifying powers, you could see it, right? So that's what the video is about. It's actually backwards from the way it grows naturally. It naturally is like a zoom out, but I just thought it's much more interesting to zoom in, so that's how I reverted the process. And I think there is actually a calculation that Ed made, which is, I think if the first piece was printed, and it was the size of, I don't know, the moon boots. I thought about buying one of those. People use them a lot here in Germany. It's cold for your feet, right? I actually tried them on. I was in Paris, and they're a lot cheaper there, I guess, because it's not so cold, and it's a sales season. But I could never wear them in Brazil, yeah, so I gave up. They're kind of cool, actually. It's funny that I see him there. Who made them? Like this person? Okay. Let's see. And this is also like you can, if you're interested about one specific artist, you can click on their artist page. And this guy calls himself Single Random Dot. And there's his artist statement. And, oh, look, he says he's from Germany. Is anybody from here? No? Because sometimes also I give the lecture and people come out and start, right away go home and start making pieces. I knew it was from Germany, the moon boots. It has totally to do with it. I mean, I knew it. I totally knew. That's why I clicked here, just to make sure. So, yeah. Actually, we just got after the video showed up on German television, we got a real peak of German participants. So now we must show on television different countries to raise the participants in other countries as well, right? Yeah. Yeah, and he put some other Yeah, maybe he's a long time participant. We can check out here. No, it's just, yeah, it's recent. So maybe he is one of those who saw it on television. Who knows? Okay. I forgot what I was talking now. I got excited about the moon boots. What was I saying?
About the zooming in.
The zooming in.
How does it work with you?
Oh yeah, I was going to say the statistics about if one image, the first image was printed at like the size of, I think it's the size of a pinhead. Then the whole, if you keep proportionally printing them, like in their actual size in relation to the others, the latest one will be bigger than the universe by level, I don't know, 800 or something like that. So yeah, so like I said, in a way, everything is there, but it zooms really fast. It's not like you can see, but it's there. And also, because it's made of different people, some people don't agree about what is beautiful or what is appropriate or what is according to the rules. For example, this rule of blending one image to the other. Some people are really strict about it. You know, they think the image should blend very well. Like, for example, here is a whole black image. So this is from this guy that I told you that is an old participant. So it's probably some kind of statement. Probably if I look at the discussion boards, there will be something about it, like talking about how I'm in my black phase, or I'm responding to someone else who made something else. So there's this whole conversation between the artists going on during this process. And here's like another footprint of the real moon boot, right? Not the copy cat, that's the real one. So maybe that inspired, because this came first, right? There's the older level. So that inspired the guy to make the other moon boot. And here I think there's another footprint. Yeah, so maybe this one inspired the moon, who inspired the moon boot, right? So there are all these themes that kind of run through as like, sometimes as the center, like you can totally see it's just a jellyfish and nothing else, and everybody does a whole level of different jellyfish. And they're clearly talking about everybody about a single subject. Or sometimes it'll just strands of visual conversations that happen, like, you know, and jump a level between one artist and another. Some of them can, you know, or maybe you can reuse an image from an older level that you like, and someone will remember and, you know, get that subject going again. Or you see images from the news that people, you know, go to, I don't know, Yahoo News or Google or something like that, and just, you know, they want to comment on something current that's happening. And in this way, it's also a little bit of a time capsule, because all those, you can see, you know, the date that all of those images were made and the hour. And, you know, specific events, sometimes when someone dies and you can see pictures of them, or something is going on. It could be in the world, it could be in like my city, or it could be just for me, it's my birthday or a friend's birthday. I'm going to put their picture into Grid Cosmos just to, you know, celebrate their birthday. Maybe if nobody knows the person, it's going to be my private thing, right? And this is quite nice. Also, you can see lots of images taken from porn websites. People are just, I guess, lonely late at night browsing the internet and copy-pasted. I think there's a statistic that most pictures with naked people were posted late at night, something like that. Someone compiled that. But eventually, even if it's ugly and if it doesn't blend, or if it's too sexually explicit for my taste, it will get absorbed by the grid. You know, it's constantly being renovated, all those images. Yeah, so this is an example of what people call grid hogging. There are all those terms, like grid hogging is when you get a whole level for yourself. So this guy, SAZ, decided to get a whole level and just make some kind of Photoshop filter. So that was, maybe people were, you know, ranting about it. Let's see, who's this guy? Ah, it is not German, it's the United States. Or maybe he just put the country. Yeah, it doesn't have a statement. You can, you know, you can put whatever you want in your page.
Just one question: the group of people working together in a way. Is there any further interest in aesthetically just playing or just working together? Is there some sort of finding the same interest of working on towards a piece, or is there any direction of it?
Well, the problem is that it's just so diverse, the people, that if you want, you can get together with, you know, like other projects spawned out of this one. You can get together with someone to have a, you know, more specifically focused aesthetically project. But on this one, it's really very open, and, you know, it doesn't have like a
Yeah, others who are more theme-oriented, just doing something together.
yeah, just doing something, just seeing what's going to come out of it. Kind of like an open experiment. Yeah, and like this guy, he did the grid hogging, and I think you can also have like you have a report of how many pieces by level you make, so to see if you're a grid hogger or not. So it's funny, like all these things, all these cross links between, you know, what you made, and I don't know, all this information, try to make it somehow useful for the site. Just because, you know, the computers register all this information in their databases, so we try to make it more visible. But there's this, there's a specific case of this guy called Mike Casey. And that was in the beginning of GridCosm, and he was one of the first really hardcore grid hoggers. And people complained a lot because he would take 2-3 levels, and so, you know, people also wanted to do things, you know, that's the whole point. So they were complaining, and he was like, no, but I must make my vision, I don't know, there was this whole thing going on. And at the same time, you know, Cito tries to be very welcoming to all kinds of things, and not put so much limits into people. So what he did is he created MikeCosm, which is his own GridCosm. So he just copied the code from Cito. I think it's a, you know, public domain, and he installed on his own server. And you can look at the same thing, but all the images are made by Mike, and they look very. You can totally see the unity in them. It's completely different than this, which is totally. You know, you can see the diversity at first glance, and in MikeCosm you can see the one mind. So he just got the engine, you know, of the zooming process, but took the collaborative part out of it. And I guess he did it for a while, and then he got bored, and now he's back to GridCosm. I think he hasn't updated MikeCosm for a while. But yeah, there is the two factions called the Quilty and the Blendy people. So look, this guy took 2 levels in a row. This SAC. Oops, did I click? Let's try again. Hope my computer didn't get mad at me. Okay. No. Yeah, so here you have like another example. Like these two were made by 2 different people, and they blend really well. It's not just black, which is so easy. You just put something black, and there, you know, there you go. And these two also from different people, and they, you know, have a nice blending together of them. So there is the whole kind of group of the blendy people, as opposed to the quilty people. So the quilty people, they want to make their square, like very obviously a square with, you know, borders. And the blendy people are really into making, you can't really tell where the square is here, right? If you had to draw the line, you couldn't really know where to draw it. And other pieces, yes, then you can very perfectly draw that grid line. Yeah, this one is very blendy also, and all by different people. Don't eat my friends. Yeah, so it's very diverse. Like, it's funny because this is probably just like a week earlier, and you know they were doing all different things, like UFOs and flying cars and jungle. That's quite nice. Yeah, so it's always a nice kind of surprise. And here are the message board. So in the message board, so minimalistic approach. Okay. I guess those are probably the black squares, yeah, the black bits. Yeah, so now he's pushing for, let's all do black squares, you know, it's the new thing now, make black squares, right? Yeah, and so here, they're just talking about different things. Sometimes there are the wars, like, you know, people really don't like what someone else is doing, or, you know, they start fighting. So then it comes the, oh, you know, let's be friends, there is space for everybody, let's do this and that. I think there is a story of this one woman that someone really didn't like something that she did. And I guess there was the whole, you know, come on, let's be friends. But before that, she decided just to leave. So she took away, like she deleted her personal images, because you cannot delete, if it's part of GridCosm, it's there. You cannot delete, you know, you contributed for good. You cannot change your mind. But your personal images in the archive, those and your profile, that you can delete. So she deleted that and said, goodbye, farewell, and thanks for all the fish, and I'm not coming back. So that was someone who felt uncomfortable because someone else criticized her. But there are very few of those cases. You know, normally it's, like I said, it's a very nice community artistically to be part of it. And for a while they had like different things, like they experimented with special exhibits, but then also for curating those you need to, you know, have a volunteer to volunteer their time and things like that. So it kind of grows depending on how much time the people have on their hands and want to dedicate to a specific project or another. Yeah, so right now I know there are some projects being worked on, and slowly. One of them is the DVD that I'm supposed to be working on. Okay, so now they say it's March 2006. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, so I'm the main force. I'm a bit weak about it. I made the 1 to 1000, but there's the whole documentary that I shot some things, some interviews, and people send tapes also and are doing things, but it still like needs some work to put it together. And also because the participants are so far away from each other, it's not like a physical space that you can just go and interview everybody. So it's a bit kind of hard to put everything together. But hopefully it will be done at some point. And yeah.
One question. Does it refer to any sound system, any audio files sent off?
Okay, audio. There is this thing which is, let me go back. The soundtrack of the video, those are readings of the poem. The poem, like I said, is this little thing that, let me go one level further. Here is the poem. So at some point, someone suggested we should do readings of the poem. Just, you know, let's see what happens, because most of it is like this. Let's see what happens. And then sometimes it takes off, sometimes it takes more time, sometimes it, you know, just dies. So here, I think if you scroll down, you can see all these things. Like, oh, here's the microcosm that I told you about. And you should be able to see the readings. Okay, poetry readings. So these are the files, the readings that people completed. And it actually was one of those things who never really took off. But when I was doing the video, I needed a soundtrack. So I just went and grabbed the readings that were done and mixed them together and made a soundtrack out of them. So the readings are probably encompassing, let's see, maybe 20 levels at most. So the visuals are 1,000 levels, but the readings are only like 20 levels, because you can't really compress sound in that. I mean, I wanted to make, listenable, like, not like or something like that. So yeah, you have maybe less than 20 levels of reading of poem and as the soundtrack. So I don't know if people are going to do more. There are some CITO projects that involve more of sound, like High Grid that I was showing before. It has attached sounds to some pieces you can add. Let me see if there are other ones. I think there's another one that also has sound. But they're very multimedia, but very visual also. And there are some that are involve animation, but not. There's just one that was just started that involves video, but I think nobody had contributed a single video yet to it. It's just the idea was launched. So the idea is to, the video is like this. You have to start it with someone passing through a door and end it with someone passing through a door. And then you can assemble all the pieces, like the doors are like portals or something. Yeah, and so, but I think that was like maybe a month or so ago, and not a single segment was. I should do one. I keep saying these things. There is so much to do, but yeah, I should do one and it has a name. It's like in of a door, out of. It's like an acronym. So there is Ayudoto. In, out, in of a door, and out the other. Yes, that's it. So, but then it's very, like I said, the boards, people discuss lots of things. So from those discussions, lots of projects emerge from the board discussion. Like someone suggests, oh, maybe we should do this, and if you're a programmer, that's even better, because then I'm going to do this, and then you can right away program it. But if you're not a programmer, then you may say, oh, maybe we should do this, and then maybe a programmer will program it for you if he likes it, like the idea. Or if it's not something programmable, you can do like a mock-up first, and then if it takes off, then there will be more chances that a programmer will do it for you. So, and also that speaks a little bit to the origins of the group. The origins were not artists, were more like hackers or just computer people. So, in a way, like I said, it's very open. There is no like code, not much curatorial work. You can see like horrible stuff or amateur stuff or ugly or whatever, things that just you don't like. But you can also see really interesting stuff. It just leaves open to the public. It's just a very open space for all types of artists to put their stuff there. That's not like the goal. The goal is not of a more editorial one. And I don't know if anybody wants to know anything specific about the grid cosm or something else.
So what are you doing?
What am I doing?
The DVD is the same thing, or similar stuff?
The DVD is from level 1000 to 0. So, yeah, so the first levels. Now it's on level 2000 and almost 2500. Yeah, that's like a landmark. When you have like the round levels, then people want to do something special, or they all crowd to do level something. So I guess 500 is the. And also your level becomes here, one of those, I think every 200 or something, has a little icon of itself. Some of them are actually quite ugly, like this one is like, okay, yeah. So, yeah, this is level 0. So yeah, I made this piece for level 0, so that was meant to be how this little icon is the programmer Ed, how he, out of his brain came gridcosm. So that's a nice continuation from the next brain part. But you can ask other questions also if you want. Okay. So we're going to move to, let's see how we're doing. Oh, we're fine. So the other part of the lecture. Oh, okay, one more thing. If you want to participate in CITO, you just log in. And you have to apply for an ID, but that's very easy. You just fill up some little form. Where is it? I mean, log off, so I think you will, okay, sign up. So if you don't have an ID, you sign up for a free ID, and you pick up 3 letters that have not been taken yet. Yeah, and then you can participate. Here it tells you, yeah, how to do. So be welcome to do that if you feel like it. Okay, so let's change for the MindVJ project.
There was a headline I saw something.
Where?
Just go one page back.
Here?
CITO, ID, Sue and you.
ID, Sue and you. Okay, Sue is, how does it say? It's an acronym also. It's like, here it says, CITO user environment. Okay, there you go. Is the database. Is the name of the database, Sue. She's a woman. It's a huge database. And then if you have an ID, the database will remember everything you do, like all the pieces you contributed at what time and of the day and, you know, all the statistic stuff. Sue is responsible for it. Thanks to her. Yeah. Okay, where was I?